Oh my god, it looks sick too. It looks sick. It looks sick. Your hands are just glowing both colors. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And do you want to be Kael'thas Sunstrider in World of Warcraft? Well, you absolutely can with the hero talents available for Fire Mage, particularly the Sunfury Fire Mage. You're going to be able to get these flame orbs on above your head. You're going to be able to call in phoenixes to barrage your enemies with monstrous greater pyroblasts and arcane surges. This specialization is easily becoming one of my favorites for the next expansion, The War Within. You can see this Phoenix just going absolutely bonkers, casting out multiple powerful spells before its time has expired. And of course, after your combustion ends, you're going to also gain hyperthermia. This is one of the most entertaining specs that I've played. I'm absolutely in love with it. I really feel like they hit the nail on the head with trying to get Kael'thas Sunstrider fantasy out on this spec. It's an absolute blast. They've also done some reworks on the talent trees, particularly on cutting down the number of abilities for the class, and I would say that Mage is one of the most keybind dense specializations. Some of those reductions include Ring of Frost now being on a shared talent node with Ice Nova. Now, this is an overall nerf. I mean, being able to get an instant ranged root and an AoE polymorph effect, having those both at the same time was really strong, so this will likely feel as a nerf, but it is going to lower Mage's control, and Mage obviously had a lot of it. Hopefully they're going to compensate you in other means, but this should reduce the button bloat by a bit. We also have seen changes to Gravity Lapse. Gravity Lapse was going to be a stun, and I was on the side of the fence of actually thinking it's probably fine to give Mages a stun here so that they can have a little bit more comp viability. I think it would help out their competitiveness and solo shuffle. It also just gives them a single target extra kind of interrupt or stop onto a target, but I think they've decided to actually move Gravity Lapse and have it be a root now as opposed to being a stun. It also looks like you have to talent Supernova to get it, which means you're going to lose Dragon's Breath. Oh my god, wait a minute, what happened here? What happened here? That is a big nerf. That is a big nerf, my guys. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that. I logged in after the rework for this. They reworked some of the talents, which I really like these talents on the side. You can get a lot of different customizable builds, but it looks like you actually need to talent Supernova. And do you know what Supernova shares with? Dragon's Breath. If you want to get Gravity Lapse. So I need to make sure that this isn't a stun anymore now. What is going on? What did they do? Okay, so we'll talent Supernova. Now, maybe this is their way of balancing it. If you have to pick between Dragon's Breath versus Deep Freeze, because it's basically Deep Freeze if it's a stun, right? So it is stunned. So it looks like it is actually still a stun. I thought I saw a change saying that it was going to be a root. Perhaps this is how they're going to balance it. And I think that maybe the Mages would disagree with me in the comments, but I think that's fair. You can either choose to have Dragon's Breath to try and get Dragon's Breath polymorphs, or you can choose to get Gravity Lapse and get Gravity Lapse polymorphs. I think that that's a fair trade, or you can use Gravity Lapse to stun a target to attack it. I actually think that this is fine. I was just freaking out about it for a moment, but I actually think that this is actually fine. This is a good way, a good in between on giving Mages a stun without giving them the ability to also like Dragon's Breath Sheep the healer and stun the thing they're attacking. They got to pick, make a choice. Are you either going to be stunning the thing you're attacking, or are you going to try and go for CC on the healer in PvP situations? It's also going to lower the button bloat as well because you won't have Dragon's Breath plus Gravity Lapse in this position. So I actually think this is a fair in between as long as they keep it as a stun. If they don't keep it as a stun and they turn it into a root, then you're just never going to take this. You're just always going to take the passive one, which I think comes from your pet, which is basically your pet will now also knock enemies up in the air randomly. And also spell steal buffs from the target, which could be good against things like Resto Druids in PvP, or in Mythic Plus where you're going to be fighting mobs that might be casting buffs on themselves that you need to be able to move and strip away. This could actually be really good to summon in a little pet that can basically like mass dispel to some extent, because Mass Dispel is generally really powerful in Mythic Plus. So I think that's actually a fair trade-off. I like where they're going with that. I had a bit of concerns with it becoming a root, but if it's a stun that you have to split between choosing for Dragon's Breath, I think that's a really nice and fair in-between point for it to hit. I really love this hero talent tree. I love the little fire orbs that go up above your head while you're attacking and you're playing, and then summoning in the Phoenix, obviously it makes it feel really powerful. as it's just going to be calling in tons of Pyroblasts off to the side. I think it's going to be a real challenge to see like how the other talent tree is going to compete with this Sunfury one. We're going to be looking at it here in just a moment after I finish marveling in the glory that is this beautiful Phoenix, just lobbing in greater Pyroblasts onto my target and then just jamming out on monstrous Pyroblasts immediately after my combustion window. It feels really good. It feels really smooth. It's really buttery. I love the fantasy. I love the visuals. I love that they've incorporated all of Kael'Thas's mechanics. I think that this is a nice in-between now, though we were initially freaking out about it on getting a stun for a Dragon's Breath, losing a little bit of control, deciding whether you want Roots or CC to reduce the keybind bloat. I think it's overall a good direction, actually, for Mage moving into the next expansion, assuming that they keep this a stun, but they have to keep it a stun. But Frostfire, now some people really like mixing together Frost and Fire magic. This is going to be the other hero talent tree that's available to you. It's going to have to be really mind-blowing to really sell me on it. I have not actually really paid too much attention to this one because Sunfury was just so amazing. But it looks like fire spells generate you stats. Fire mastery generates you stats. Okay, so we're just casting spells and getting more stats. Blazing barrier, you can get an ice barrier. So Triune ward, this is really powerful back in Shadowlands. It's a Diune ward or a duo ward or something this time around. Meltdown, I've had those in solo shuffle, and I've seen people have those in solo shuffle. You melt slightly out of your ice block, allowing you to move slowly. Oh, we're gonna have to see what that looks like. What's a move slow? And then replaces Frostbolt with Frostfire Bolt. I'm assuming this also replaces Fireball. I mean, we don't have Frostbolt. Are we just gonna use this instead of Fireball? The cooldown of Frost spells with a base cooldown shorter than 4 minutes is reduced by 30%. Okay, so you can get like faster Novas, faster Cone of Cold snares. Cauterize resets the cooldown of your Frost spells with a base cooldown shorter than 4 minutes. So you can just immediately get Frost Nova after having your Cauterize proc. Kind of leaning more towards like the frequency of it. Isothermic Core, Comet Storm now also calls down a Meteor. And Meteor now also calls down a Comet Storm. So in PvP at least, you're not playing Meteor a lot. This maybe would make it more desirable considering it's 150% effectiveness. We'll try Meteor out here in a second. Severe temperatures, casting frost or fire spells increases the damage your next Frostfire Bolt deals by 6%. So I get 5 to, oh my god, we're gonna get a mega hard hitting Frostfire Bolt. What the Frostfire Bolt's cast time is reduced if you just want to spam them. We know it's all about the big crits, though, around here, right? Frostfire Infusion. Your Frost and Fire spells have a chance to trigger an additional bolt of Frostfire Bolt, and this effect can generate the Mastery. So just shoot more of them. Excess Frost. Reaching maximum stacks of Frost Mastery causes your next Phoenix Flames to also cast Ice Nova. So you can get Ice Nova even without the baseline talents just from your Phoenix Flames with this one. When you consume Excess Frost, the cooldown of your Meteor will be reduced. So you're pretty much going to have to take Meteor with this build. This is like a criticism that I'm seeing amongst a lot of different hero talent trees, is ones that make you have to take a talent for it to even do anything or to have any sort of benefit, because obviously not every talent is great in every scenario, whether it's PvE or PvP. Frostfire Empowerment. Your Frost and Fire spells have a chance to activate Frostfire Empowerment, causing your next Frostfire Bolt to deal 100% increased damage and explode. Okay, that's massive. What? Reaching maximum stacks of Frostfire Mastery causes your next Fire Blast to apply Living Bomb at 150% effectiveness. What? And Living Bomb explodes is going to reduce the cooldown of your Phoenix Flames. Frostfire Empowerment grants you maximum benefits of... This actually seems crazy. I actually can't believe that they've made something that is legitimately making me think it can compete with Sunfury. I thought there would be no way. But let's see this Ice Block. So we block. We can move in our Ice Block, dude. I'm RP walking, but I can move. Okay? I can move, baby. I want to move faster as it starts to end. Not particularly fast, but we can move in Ice Block. The game is broken, guys. The game is broken. They just broke the game here with being able to move in Ice Block. All right, let's take the talents out of here and get them into Meteor, because we need to see what Meteor looks like, if it's going to call in a Comet Storm. And then we got to see what Frostfire Bolt looks like and see how crazy that thing is, because I'm going to imagine that it's going to be pretty wild. So Meteor calls in a Comet Storm. Just get some extra bonus damage in there. We got Frostfire Bolt. That gives us our stacks. We're at max stacks, so let's just see what happens. See how much damage we can get out here at max stacks with all this build. Do we get instant? It's not. Oh, what? It's instant cast too? What? You can get instant cast Frostfire Bolts. Oh my god, wait a minute. How did I do that? I need to know how I did that. I think it was after you get like maximum stacks or something, it makes it instant cast. Is that what that other... Oh my god, it looks sick too. It looks sick. It looks sick. Your hands are just glowing both colors. Wait, it looks sick. It looks sick. Okay, I actually can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. They made something that is making me think it can compete with Sunfury. Mage is absolutely amazing, dude. I'm saying from like a fantasy standpoint, a feel standpoint, Oh, the living bomb proc that you get from that feels insane as well. On top of that, on the hero talent tree, the stacking stats feel really nice. I actually can't believe it. They did it. They made something that can actually compete with Sunfury. Bro, I've been reviewing all the talents. If you want to make sure you're staying up to date with all these reviews, smash the subscribe button. But a lot of them, you know, it's usually one is more dominant than the other, or in some cases where I don't really like both of them. This is the first one where, man, this just feels, both of these builds feel crazy good. Oh, when you pop Combustion, you can spam Frostfire Bolt a couple times, instant cast. What? Oh my god, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. I guess the only dangers of this is that Frostfire Bolt is probably a frost and a fire spell, so if you get kicked, you can't use Ice Block. I could see that being legitimately a bit of a problem, at least in PvP situations where you might get kicked on it. But visually, this looks very cool. I like how everything mixes together. It's adding a lot of extra damage. The baseline feel of the class is still good. The reduction in button bloat with some of those talents being shared with each other now. I think that they're doing a great job with Mage. They are doing a great job with Mage. I think that this checkup was definitely worth the look at here in today's video. If you're curious about Fire Mage, this is probably my favorite class. I feel like this is, and I've done Death Knight. I looked at Death Knight, but Fire Mage legitimately has got to be the best class. When you get the instant procs, dude, it feels so good. When you get the 8 stacks, I think it's got to be. Oh my god, it feels so good. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the review here. Thank you very much for all of your support. All my content is greatly appreciated. I will continue to bring you my best. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.